Hello all and welcome back to High Ridge Farm with me, the Walrus. As the first thing I managed to do is slam down on the teleport just to teleport back even further to make sure I'm at the front door of the house. It is the 12th of summer today, and we have nothing to do in our quest journal at the moment, but as you can see, our Junimos are lovely and busy, because we have all of that glorious star fruit to be harvested, along with all of this lovely ancient fruit. So this is going to be a good stock-up day by the looks of things, for all of my general resources, for my pickling and wine-producing shenanigans that High Ridge Farm is pretty much entirely known for, as it is a... You know, I don't really think I ship out much actual fruit, really, or veg these days, because it's just, if it isn't iridium quality, it's going in a pickler. Or a preserve jar, whatever. Whatever the two, we'll see. But yeah, that's kind of how this is going. But as you can see, we've got lots and lots of star fruit, which is being currently harvested by the Junimos. And the Junimos that I've got currently harvesting at the moment are the ones who have the raisins. And I think that would be quite a nice thing to keep going with. I've not entirely seen the benefits of the raisins, but it does appear that they go a bit faster from what I've kind of gathered. Ah, a bullhead frenzy. Now, I've not really dabbled much with the frenzies so far when it comes to the special fishing events. So I'm going to give it a go. I'm going to slap down the seeds here, and then I'm going to go over to the mountains, and I'm actually deliberately going to go and get myself involved, because, I mean, it's a different thing, it's kind of new, I might as well experience it and actually see what fun stuff actually occurs with it. Because, again, like I say, I've not really done much with it. And, of course, the other thing I've got to think about is, how many bullheads am I going to catch? What's going to be interesting? What's there? You know, little things. So let's go and see. So there's Linus lurking there. Oh, there's another grape. That might give me enough to actually make another set of raisins. That'd be nice. Okay, so the bullheads are close by, which is great. But it does mean they are going to lack a little bit in their quality. Because I think there is a quality bonus based upon the length of the cast, as well as whether it's perfect or not. I think. I'm not entirely sure how the calculation is for quality of fish actually is done. I'm sure there is a you know, vaguely clever way about it, but I can never quite remember. All the same, let's grab it and go. So, got another bullhead. I think I'm going to need more smokers. I think that's the big thing that I need at the moment. I've got one, which is, as you can probably tell, not sufficient. Which is kind of depressing, because, yeah, I want more of them. Especially considering, like, the value is quite nice, and the bonus that it really gives you, the fact that you can get the quality is consistent, so it still maintains the quality of the fish, which is absolutely fantastic. And the thing is, yes, it does use a singular coal every time, but it does massively increase the value of the fish, so it is pretty damn handy. It's one of the things I actually really need to look into a little bit more. Especially since I've done that research, when I say research, like it was a particularly major component of it, where I actually looked into the value bonuses of having 5, what are they called? Like 5 fruit and then putting them into a preserves jar versus turning them into wine versus selling them, and whether you should dehydrate them. And from what I've gathered, it does appear that the dehydrated dried fruit just isn't that valuable in the grand scheme of things. It's got an advantage in that it's quick. I mean, that's nice and all, but that's all it's got going for it, which is a bit of a shame, really, because it's a nice, interesting thing. So, I'm kind of two minds about it, I think is probably the best way of describing it. I'm not sure whether it's super viable. But, hey, that was a silly little YouTube short that I've put out now, so it's not like it's super anything too major on that sort of front. Right. well, we've caught all the fish that are there, which is good. And the question is now, what else are we going to do today? Ooh, a gold chest. I mean, this is a carp. That one's an easy one. No worries on that one. It's not like they do anything other than hug the bottom of the fishing bar, which does make them a heck of a lot easier to deal with, thankfully. But all the same, yeah, we've got quite a nice selection of things there. Again, it's nice to get them, I guess. There's not much else I can really say to that. But I've got them, and that's kind of all that matters. Okay, so let's head back to the farm and finish off what we were actually doing there earlier today. So I'm going to replant a bunch more of the seeds. It looks like the Junimo have been nice and busy and have gathered most, if not all of the starfruit they can reach, potentially. I guess that's maybe an issue with them, is that they can't quite reach all of the farm that I've got there. But again, that's just the way that the layout of this particular farm is. You can see I've got quite a lot of fish from my many fishing adventures that are just sitting there. And the thing is, I could just sell them, but I do really want to build more smokers. I think the thing that's hindering me at the moment for it is the lack of the lava slime sludge goo. I'm sure it's not actually sludge. The jelly, the red one. That one. I'm missing a good chunk of that one, unfortunately, so that's kind of the thing that's slowing me down on that front, which, you know, that's fair enough. It's just a bit of a shame, but oh well. Right, let's see what else we can sort out here then. Well, I'm going to slap down a bunch more starfruit because I might as well. I have it. It makes sense to me, at least, and kind of hope for the best on this one, I guess. So let's see how well we can do here. Well, sadly, there's not much else that really can be said at this sort of juncture. That I've just got to try and get as many of them as possible, really. But hey-ho. And I'm just thinking about other things I'd like to put down. You know, I probably should have a quick visit to the raccoon at some point, because I do want to try to figure out the other things that are available from them, because they've got all of those extra different fruits and, well, I say fruits and veggies, but the new crops that are available. I mean, I've got the summer squash, and I'd kind of like to put a few of them down on Ginger Island. I think that might be quite nice, just to have a few extras, I think, being the best way of kind of describing it, because there's lots of extra new, well, I mean, there's the 4 new fruits and veggies, and I'd actually quite like to grow them. And if I have them over on Ginger Island, because 2 of them are continuous harvests, the broccoli and summer squash, so I don't have to worry about it after that point. They're just going to keep growing, and that's fine. So I guess that's kind of an advantage at this point. But let's have a quick look in here. So there's nothing worrying on this one. So loads and loads of coffee beans. That's kind of the issue I've got at the moment. It's got so much coffee. Again, not too much of a problem. It's just the difficulty of actually putting it in bulk into the kegs to actually turn into coffee itself. But at the same time, I've got loads anyway, so I'm not super concerned at the moment, and I could probably use the kegs in the house, because I've got some in the attic now, which is good. I'm just debating where else I might want to put them, and that might sound particularly odd, but when I look at what I've actually got lying around, I'm thinking, is there anywhere else I could put stuff? Because I'm using the house as it is, but I'm sure there must be some other things that I could do that might work out quite nicely for me. Maybe. I don't know. But we're going to grab what we can today. We've got lots of hot peppers as well, so that's going to be a useful stockpile. The mixed seeds are quite nice, and I do enjoy the fact that there's the mixed flower seeds, and I wouldn't mind having more of a flower bed garden, possibly at some point, just to have, because that'd be quite pleasant in general. But yeah, I'm going to slap down some more summer squash as well. Just, again, nothing super exciting, but it's something, and that's kind of what I'm after at this point, is it's something. Meh. There's not much else I can really put on that one. But, I mean, one of the things I'm also looking at the moment as well is because I have recently acquired the Stardew Valley cookbook, I'm still kind of umming and ahhing about what I'd like to try cooking first, as there is that opportunity to try something a bit different. So that's kind of giving me a curiosity being piqued on that one, which is kind of cool. Because that is a really cool option. There's loads of fun recipes in that, and I can't quite decide. I'm half tempted to try something simple, or maybe even just stick with something that's summery, because we're in the summer season at the moment in Stardew, and it would be quite pleasant to do something summer related. Maybe. Who knows? We'll give it a go as it goes. We've got lots of ideas anyway, so hey, we might come up with something clever. I doubt it. I mean, I am a bit of a muppet at the best of times, so hey-ho. Right, so let's quickly put stuff away. I do want to go and have a quick chat with the raccoons again, because it's been a few days since I've seen them, spoken to them. I don't know what the cycle time is for their refresh of items, like on their requests and stuff. I mean, how long do you have to wait before they ask for more stuff? I don't know. It would be nice to know, but not a clue, I'm afraid. Now we've got some more coffee to grab, which is good and all. But we're always going to need more coffee. It's just kind of a constant given, I think, at this stage. I mean, again, it's not like it's a bad thing, to be honest. But, again, hey-ho. Now, I'm trying something clever here with the hoppers. I realised that I've got all of these sunflowers, and I think it might be nice to just have them constantly producing more for me. I mean, I think it might work as a bit of an odd attempt at this one, because, well, it just genuinely might, as a bit of a curiosity for me on this one. I've never actually used the hoppers, but I can see how they could be very useful. And if I can use them to make lots of oil by putting the sunflowers in just constantly, that'd be great. And of course, the other thing that it can give me the opportunity of trying to use is the truffles. Because again, I forget a lot of the time to actually put them in. And of course, that means I end up kind of wasting them because I'm not using them. And that might be quite nice to actually have. I'm also curious to see if using the hoppers might be viable for certain other things, like maybe the mayonnaise makers. But the problem is that it'd have to be near somewhere that I'd have to check regularly, I think. Because that's kind of the curiosity on that one. Because the trouble is that they take up a single slot of space as well. So it means that you're not as easily able to benefit from them. Like, you can't have as many in a room, so it'd be very, I think it might be a bit counterproductive for me to have them in a room that I've got, like the kegs that I've got, because I'd still need to have twice as many, well, I'd have half as many kegs because I've got twice as many objects in the room. Well, two different object types, but my point vaguely still stands. I don't know how viable that is actually as an attempt of something. So yeah, but sunflowers and truffles seems to work out all right in there, and the oil is just being made, and actually that's quite useful. But again, I'm trying to think of if there's anything else that might work as things go for something, you know, curious. I'm not sure. We'll have a look and see at least, because there must be something vaguely clever that I can do with it. I don't know, though. Ah, well. Righty, so we're 8 PM, so we've still got a little bit of time left before the end of the day, and is it viable for me to do some more stuff? And let's just have a quick check and see if I've actually sorted everything out that I need to. So I'm going to quickly nip into town and double check on the bulletin boards to see if there's any event quest type things that I would be able to do, because the problem I've kind of got is that I'm not doing enough in the town at the moment. I don't feel, especially since I'm sort of like pottering around waiting for new event stuff to occur. I know there are more events. I've just not really dabbled with them as much. Okay, so we've got ourselves another quest, and this one, though, is interesting because it gives us a ticket. I've not seen a billboard quest give you a ticket as a general prize, so this one will be easy. I'm going to go and grab a jade and hand it straight over to Emily because, yeah, of course, why would I not? And I've grabbed the entire stack because I might go over to the desert just to double check what day. I'm pretty sure it's Sunday. I think somebody did mention it was Sunday, but you know when you have those moments of going, I'm not sure. And it's very much I'm second guessing myself because I'm pretty sure somebody said it, but I am also an idiot. So I've kind of got that wonderful joy going on there. It's the joys of just my innate stupidity. I can't help it. See, I know I'm a moron. What else can I say? So, let us have a look. Okay, well, giving Emily jade, it does appear to give you on her good side. It's nice to actually talk to the villagers when they're in the pub. To see how they're doing, sort of thing. Oh god, Shane, that's a horrifying concept. I mean, livers aren't exactly attractive or good looking as an organ. I mean, to be fair, I don't really want to be looking at internal organs as a general rule of thumb, but you're not wrong, Shane. Your liver probably has some quite acute cirrhosis, which is not good. Matey boy, you need to maybe stop drinking. But again, it's the shame that we've got the heart events, but they don't give you the actual results that we kind of expected. I mean, I know it might sound a little bit not absurd, but a little bit silly. That there's lots of cool opportunity, but we haven't kind of got it. Like we don't see him try to stop drinking, which is a shame. Ah well. Right, so we've got lots of our solar panel batteries, which is good. Now, the thing is, I don't need batteries as much as I did when I started building this little solar panel bit. I think I might want to try and reorganize the layout of this and actually, would it be more viable for me to put somewhere else in the desert? But the fact that it's there and it gives me something to have in the desert is quite good. Although I wonder what the growing season of the desert is always considered as, because that's something I've not really thought about, as daft as that may very well sound. Because, I mean, if you think about it, if the desert has the same sort of quality of land, per se, as the what's it called? Like, if it has the same sort of quality, like growing season as Ginger Island, does that mean that it also then has the ability to just slap down the pots? And I'm genuinely curious to see if I could slap down the grow bin type pots, the flower pots, and actually get something out of them. Like, actually growing something in the desert. I think I'm going to have to try and make some of those flower pots and actually give it a go. Because that's a bit of a curiosity spike for me there. I'm genuinely curious. I do wonder how that works. Or more to the point, if it works. But we'll see. Now, what other gubbins can we see? So the weather report for tomorrow, it looks like a storm's approaching, so it looks like we're going to get some more lightning strikes, which will mean more power generation, which is nice. I do enjoy a bit more power generation going on in the old department, which is good. And my good lady wife is in the kitchen and just chilling out in the morning, which I think is, yeah, that's the best plan of action. Just chill. Don't faff, just chill. Especially in a house this big. My goodness, I would love to live in a house that's like that sort of general size. The house I live in is pretty small. And yeah, no, I shamelessly enjoy a much bigger home. And I think that's kind of a trait for many people, really, isn't it? That, like, with the idea of a nice big house would be lovely. C'est la vie. The joys of living where I do in the south coast of England, where it is very, very expensive to live. Alrighty. And as we can see in the farm today, we've got some sap, we've got some mushrooms, you know, standard fair stuff of our daily harvests from the trees here. And I think that my little selection of trees there is a good enough sort of selection, I feel. It's I might replace a couple of the trees, I'm not sure. But we will see. And there's a lot of like potential improvement things that I'd like to possibly try dabbling with, but I'm not sure. You can see all those hot peppers, so going to be turning those into preserves again. Well, pickled hot peppers, which originally I was thinking hot pepper pickles, and I'm like, yeah, I've got a jar of pickled jalapenos. Of course they're a thing. It's almost like sometimes I just go, oh yeah, stuff and things. It's a real thing. Absolute banana. I just do genuinely wonder how I don't fall down more sometimes. It is an absolute question. Because I do make some very hilariously dumb mistakes. But at least I know it. But anyway, so let's keep on going. We've got more things to fling in here. Now, the moss itself, I'm pretty sure is useful for a few other resource recipes. I mean, I still haven't actually made the moss soup yet, which is something that I do need to try and do at some point. Because, of course, that is a useful recipe that I've not tried yet. So that is something I do need to do. And, but we've got quite a lot of resources there ready to be thrown into the preserve jars, which is nice and all. We should be able to make a few more preserves. Now, I'm curious to see what other stuff is going to turn up in the summer this year, because there's got to be some more event things, hopefully. I mean, one can hope, because there's lots of exciting stuff to go. And the trouble I've got is, again, because I've been trying to avoid any of the wiki stuff, because I've been a little bit lax in actually completing these videos, I've kind of slowed down a little bit over the last few weeks. And I probably should try and pick up a little bit more. I'm missing out on some of the theoretical what's new. And that is kind of not stuffing myself entirely, but I'm still not able to follow in and see what new shiny stuff there actually is yet. So, we will see. We will see. Okay, so you can still see the Junimos still have got raisins going on. I wonder how long the raisins last for them. Because it's got to last a few days, I'd hope. Maybe even a whole season. Oh, you thirsty, you want juice. Okay, so you want tomato juice and pickled radish. Okay. Well, tomato juice is quite an easy one, and I've definitely got both of those being grown on the farm at the moment. So, hey, that's an easy one, I think. I should be able to do that, which would be good. And, of course, the thing that amuses me is tomato juice is always a strange one as a... It's not something that I'm super partial to. I've tried drinking it a few times, and it just doesn't gel with me, which is, I think, maybe strange, because I quite like the taste of tomato soup, but I'm not mad keen on... the taste of tomato juice, which is actually one of my father's personal favourite basic drinks. I just wonder if he's just a fond fan of a good Bloody Mary. Which, I'm not saying that would surprise me, but, I mean, it'd be funny. I could see it happening, I think is the best way of being the answer on that one. But again, I'm not trying to say that my father's an alcoholic, but... Okay, so we're one step closer to that book. I don't know what it is. I'm assuming it just gives you a flat stat boost to the general relationship with all the villagers. I mean, that would kind of make sense to me. Who knows, though? Who knows, indeed? I mean, it could be. I'm not sure. It could also be something completely different. Who absolutely knows? Well, I'm sure somebody does. It's just not me. I don't. Which I guess is fine. It's not really it's the end of the world, is it? I don't care too much right now. I'll find out soon enough once I get another ticket. So that's going to be Monday. I'll be able to do another one of the quests for the villagers. I say quests again, you know. vaguely what I mean. So yeah, it'll be Monday before I'll be able to do another one of those. And, you know, I've not actually visited Mr. Key this week. That might be a thing to do as well. Oh, some more summer squash, so that's good. Let's see what else we can get. Oh yeah, look at all that lovely fruit and veg available. So that's going to be a nice easy harvest, methinks. That's good. And I guess as we grab all of this, we're going to slap a load of it into our pickling and preserving selection again. I mean, pineapple wine. I still would really like to see if I could find a bottle of pineapple wine, if it's a real thing. Maybe I need to try a little bit harder, because I did a very cursory sort of look, and I went and asked in a local wine shop who are, I mean, they're pretty good. They found some, not odd stuff, but they found some different stuff for me in the past. It's where I tend to buy a lot of my plum wine, my Choya plum wine. I'm quite partial to that. And I don't think plums are in Stardew. I was kind of surprised there wasn't an extra tree added, and actually it would be quite nice to have a plum tree. But again, I'm just using the base vanilla, and maybe that's something I should experiment with. Once I've completed this 4th year of the farm, maybe have a look at some of the essentially the expansion content that is created by the modding scene. Again, of course, that is going to involve me attempting to do mods, because apparently I'm really bad at doing them. But I think it's just because I didn't want to install all of the extra components that were required for some of the mods. Because I don't really want to have the option to slaughter animals, but there was a major component that you needed for one of the ones that I was looking at. But again, I think I should have a look. Maybe dabble. See what I can find. I might do another mod hunt video and just see what looks interesting and go from there. Because I know that I remember looking through it and going, yeah, look, there's another mod that allows you to use the scythe all the time. And I was very dismissive of it as a whole, going, that's just making it easier. Yeah, it totally does. The fact that it's in the game now with the Iridium scythe, I'm just like, no, why would you want that? And no, I totally get it now. Yes, it is lazy, but my god, does it save you so much time. I couldn't imagine trying to pick all of those blasted damn starfruit, especially on Ginger Island. That would take me all day. An absolute nightmare. Very glad that I don't have to do that anymore. Right. Let's quickly dip in and visit our glorious shack in here. So I'm just going to deposit all the things that we don't need right away, which I think is a sensible plan at least. And okay, that's fine. Got nothing else to worry about there. So we've got, I think what I'm looking for at the moment is just trying to figure out what else do I want to take over with me down to see the raccoons. Because I know that I need sap. I think I need moss, and I think I need pine cones, and I think maple seeds are the ones that you use. I think maple seeds are for the carrots. I think the powder melons are the one that you get from the conifer, like the pine cones. I just can't remember. Okay, so I was actually correct. My memory did work. Okay, the summer squash. I remembered that one, because sap is an easy one, and I've got so much of that, so I'm going to buy an absolute truckload of summer squash. The powder melons I'm going to buy loads of as well, because, again, I've got loads of these pine cones. It's not like it's a super difficult or complex thing for me to try to get more of, is it? I have loads of it. It's not a problem. So I'm going to buy all of them, and that will be really good, because then I can actually plant a bunch of powder melons over on Ginger Island, and I think that would be quite nice. Now, broccoli I'm kind of struggling with, because that's what I need moss for, and I don't have much moss. So I'm struggling a little with that, but that's because I've not really found much moss. And to be fair, the moss that I am finding, I end up just using a lot of the time, because I go, okay, well, there's an option for doing this. and so on and so forth. But let's go back over to Ginger Island, and we're going to go and plant a bunch of our new crops, because that'll be exciting. I mean, we might find something really useful and really cool in there. I don't know. Like, I'm really curious to see what the value of a powder melon is. I mean, it could be, like, really absurd. I just don't know. It's kind of cool if it is. Like I say, I'm genuinely curious to see what the benefit really is of it. It might have some silly value for me. But we will find out soon enough, I'm sure. Okay, so we're going to slap all these down. I'm going to plant some broccoli. And the good thing about the powder melon is, like the carrots, it is a one and done. So I can easily swap them out again once I've kind of done what I'm doing with them. I can already just swap it out, sort it out, easy peasy. Because I would like to have at least 10, maybe 15 of each of the multi-producers just there in general, in constant production. I think that's a decent amount of them. And that can add to my constant producing of other crops. Like I've got all the pineapples, I've got the cranberries, I've got the whatever else I've got there, and yeah, no, there's a lot going on in the farm on Ginger Island there. Okay, so I'm going to set myself a real challenge. I'm not going to even try the Junimo Kart because I am so painfully bad at Junimo Kart. I will probably do a video of me just failing at it, and I'm sure it'll just involve lots of people going, oh god, you're so terrible at this, Walrus. Why are you suffering and punishing yourself and us with it? But I'm going to try getting down to floor 100 in a single day, in a single visit, with the fact that I've not really tried anything else. I'm going to make some like preparations for it, definitely. And the preparations involved are going to be, I'm going to make some more of those statues, like the gnome statue. Not gnome statue, sorry, the dwarf statue. So I can then, what's the word I'm looking for? I can get the benefit from the mining buff, that is, the daily mining buff, whatever it may be, when I'm just there. And I think it would be a good idea for me to make two of them. I could put one in the volcano as well while I'm here. I think that might be a good idea, just to give me the option to just keep doing more. And there's loads of options for it, so it kind of makes sense. I mean, perfect sense to me at least, because if I can make multiple of them, then why would I not want to have the option of just, well, doing that and just making life easier for me? Because, yeah, I'm very lazy, and if I've got the opportunity to make my life easier, of course I'm going to do that. And I'm forgetful, and I'm sure many of you have noticed that I'm very forgetful, because I'll say that I'm going to do something and then forget to do it entirely. But being able to actually do that by the virtue of remembering by seeing it there, be great. That's actually how I did a lot of my general workplace shenaniganry, is when I had my old shop, I had things that might not have made any sense to a customer if they saw them on the walls, like in the way that some of the artwork and stuff was on the walls, but they were each designed to remind me to do a certain thing, and they worked because they would just trigger my memory. I'd look at them and go, oh yeah, this thing's a thing, I need to do that. The questions I got from my regional manager is like, why on earth have you got all that weird stuff? I was like, look, it makes sense to me. And is that not the advantage here? Is I've figured out a clever way around and this is before I knew I had ADD as well, because I was desperately clawing at ways to try to keep my brain in gear. Because yeah, I'm a scatterbrained moron and I know it. Right, so I'm going to make a bunch more other stuff whilst we're here. So I also need to visit the desert trader on a Sunday, which conveniently we're going to the desert anyway, so that's easy, and that'll mean I'll be able to get more of those walkways. There's not walkways, sorry, ladders. It's a walkway of a sort, isn't it? Ish. Oh yeah, so we'll be able to get more of the ladders, which will allow me to get down faster, which is great. We've got 2 of those dwarf statues, so we're going to put one in the volcano and we're going to put one in Skull Caves, which I think is kind of the best plan of action there. And where next is the big question, isn't it? I mean, I don't think there's anywhere else I need to put one, if I'm brutally honest about it, because, I mean, Skull Caverns is close enough as a thing, isn't it? And I'm not going to need a mining buff anywhere else. Maybe I could build a 4th one and put it in the house. Maybe. I'm not sure. I mean, maybe there's some other options and advantages that I could do. I don't know. But we've got time to sort of plan that out and think what might work out well for me. Because that's kind of what I'm looking for at the moment. Is there anything else that I can do to make my life easier in this delving run sort of idea that I've currently got going on in the back of my head? So one of the things that I definitely need is more bombs. Now, I've only got a few. Thankfully, it's still Saturday, so there's still opportunity for me to acquire more weapons of mass explosion. Hopefully, I don't end up getting invaded by the United Kingdom for doing so. Or America, who knows? Right, anyway, silly jokes aside there. But I am going to need more bombs. It's a given. I'm going to need more of them. And I feel that that's kind of regular, kind of normal, an accepted component of what's going to go on here. Because, yeah, I'm going to need more bombs. Especially if I'm going down. And because I'm a shameless moron and I might have accidentally thrown all of my stack of 600 mega bombs into the shipping container. Yeah. And believe me, I'm still somewhat frustrated with myself on that one. Because that was just dumb. And I feel particularly dense after doing that. And it's very frustrating when I do things like that, because I know I'm going to do dumb stuff, but it's still annoying. But all the same, we've got our quick journey back to the volcano now, because we put the statuette in. Well, it's not really a statuette, it is an actual statue, really, isn't it? It's not small. Yeah, so I'm going to put the statue itself in the volcano. So yeah, I'm going to slap that in the volcano. Now, I've done the one inside of the Skull Caves, and I've just got to figure out, am I going to put it anywhere particularly clever? I mean, it's not really a difficult sort of a process to think of where am I going to put it when it comes to Skull Caves, because there's only really, well, the entrance. And I think there is a good shout. I mean, I've got to cross its path as I go in. So I've got no choice in the matter, so I'm going to go past it. And I think that's really the key component of this, is I've got to be able to remember I need to do something here and, you know, grab what I need to grab. Which, again, I think is perfectly sensible and reasonable and logical. And, again, that's unusual for me, because logic, rhyme and reason aren't my strong suits, are they? At least I know that as a general fact. But I am a bit of a moron. And, you know, I'll admit it. So, yeah. That's my current game plan on this one. Question then comes, where next? Am I going to do anything today? I've got a couple of other, like, not genius plans, but I've got a couple of ideas that may need a little bit of extra work today. Whether they're particularly clever is a different one. I think my best plan is to go and visit the regular cave dwarf, because I could buy a bunch more bombs from him, plus I could probably buy some life elixirs. Now the thing is, life elixirs aren't something I've ever really purchased, and I know that might sound particularly silly in the grand scheme of things, since they are so useful. But it is something that I've never really, not that I haven't gelled with them, it's just they're not something that I've ever really considered as that essential in the grand scheme of things, which kind of feels a little bit silly for me to say that out loud. But it's not something I've ever really gone, oh, I need to have loads of these, they're the thing I need. And yeah, I feel pretty stupid that that's actually the case. So I'm going to give it a go. I'm going to try and, well, see what it does for me, because it might do something particularly good. And again, I know that sounds very silly, but the thing is, I'm also aware that I kind of brute forced myself, in a sense, because I tried to purchase and manufacture equipment that can keep me healed. So currently I've got the Fairy Trinket level 3, I have the Vampire Ring that has been melded with the Iridium Band, and I have Vampiric on my hammer. So that's 3 healing items, one that's going to constantly give me essentially not quite regeneration, but it does give me a constant trickle of health. I've got healing after I kill something and healing after I kill something on 2 pieces of equipment, and I believe they both have a chance on effect. So having 2 of them increases the likelihood of that actually occurring. So, I mean, that does give me quite a big boon to myself. So, yeah. That's, I guess, the best thing that I can kind of suggest on this one. So, yeah, that's... I've got my plans, and my plans mainly seem to be based entirely around keeping myself healed rather than having to use food or drink. And I think that's a choice. Whether it's the best choice is a very, very different question. I don't know. So I'm going to have to sort of like... For what I try to do, it works. So I'm also going to make sure to get rid of my equipment, so I don't need as many, you know, general random articles, so I don't need all of the weapons. Not to say I say weapons, I don't need all of the tools on my person this time, right now. I've got lots of other stuff that I don't need, and reducing my general stock inventory of stuff does mean that I can actually potentially carry more shiny loot. Now, I know loot isn't really what I'm going down there for. I'm aiming for just hitting floor 100 as fast as possible. So, I've got to be a little bit more mercenary, maybe, and not just go for stuff. I think what I really need to do is just, you know, try it out, make sure, and see what works. Because I've got some plans, and yeah, that's all I can really say at this point. Now, the other thing that I'm kind of considering is, do I, if I get the immunity to bomb damage, I'm just going to go a little bit bomb happy, because I've got lots of them, and I don't need to worry so much about the thing that kind of concerned me was the whole, like, do I need to worry about replenishing the bombs? And honestly, no, because it's not super silly expensive for me to do so, and even if it was, it's not like I've got silly money. And I think that's really the issue I've got at the moment. It's still a constant issue, is I need to be a bit more mercenary about the fact that I do have lots of money, and I should use them. Right, so Skull Cavern Invasion is ready to go. Next question appears, I guess, is the kind of the logic here. Now, of course, I've managed to forget to grab something, which is the jade, because, you know, I said about visiting that lovely and very useful desert trader. What have I forgot to do? Bring the stuff I need to visit the desert damn trader. I am a genius. The amount I just don't know how I don't fall down more, I think, is the answer to that one. Again, I think that's a common train of my thought, to be fair. It's the, how am I not just falling down more, and how am I not just more of an idiot? Kind of a given. But, all the same, that is what we're currently working with. My stupidity. Now, the caves themselves shouldn't be super concerning. Yes, it's on hard mode, so that's why I'm kind of stacking all of the healing benefits that I could. And I think that's kind of reasonable. Okay, so we're going to end up buying a lot of these staircases. So that's not like the worst, but we do have over 700 of them. So we'll be here a little while as we just hold this down to grab more. Not the end of the world. Super easy to deal with, though. So, as we can see, we've got 350, nearly 400 now. I mean, a stack of 900 of them will be great. And to be fair, ever since somebody mentioned about remembering that one can use the lumps of jade to buy staircases with them, it's a heck of a lot cheaper in the grand scheme of things than using stone. Because each of the stone ones, you need 99 stone to turn into one staircase. So that eats up a lot of resources, if I'm really brutally honest about it. And I didn't really feel like trying to find and mine all of that extra stone to do it, which I think is kind of reasonable, I guess. Because, yeah, that's a lot of work. Ah, well. Easy enough. So let's us get ourselves going. So it must have nearly everything ready, I think. Is there anything else that I need? I think that's the big question. Is there anything else that I require right now? I don't think so. I mean, I'm grabbing the axe, and I'm not entirely sure why I'm taking it with me, but at the same time, it's one of those, it might be useful. It might help me out a little bit here. I'm not expecting it to, but it potentially could have its benefit to me. Okay, bombs can't damage me. Great. That's exactly what I needed. And that will make my life so much easier. Oh, wow, there's loads of radioactive ore while I'm here. Fantastic stuff. So, yeah, we're going to grab that. We're going to go and slap a few ghosts. And the thing is, I've got to remember that because it is on hard mode, the ghosts themselves will indeed still hit harder. It's not that I want to, you know, allow myself to be foolish enough to ignore the fact that the enemies can still hurt me while I'm here. And I think that's an important thing to remember. It's very easy for me to be a little bit complacent, just generally, because that's just the way I am. But it is important for me to not be too complacent. And yeah, so we've got lots of... the other advantage is I am going to get a lot more of these, what are they called? So, you know what I mean. Sorry, let's try that again in English and actually explain what I'm trying to say there. We've still got all the opportunities to gather more of the Omnigeodes, which, again, they're not a super rare item, but they are an item I want to gather more of. And again, that's not something that's impossible for me to sort out. And actually, with the amount of things that I'm blitzing my way through here, that's great. Okay, so we've got ourselves a hole to leap down, so we're going to quickly jump on down that one and drop down a few floors. That's a lot of mummies. I should probably try and see if I can splat them with a little bit more ease when it comes to actually being able to work my way through everything here. As it would be good to actually have, you know, minimize the use of bombs, but still utilize lots of bombs. Because, well, bombs. Yeah, I know, it's a silly old logic, but again, it means that I can still just do what I need to do here. And I think that's really all I'm working on, is what's the easiest thing for me to do, how am I going to achieve it, and just get it done. And I think that's perfectly reasonable. So these long serpents, the thing is, I originally considered that they were worse. Like, they were more annoying, more difficult, and actually more of a problem. But actually, on reflection, I'm kind of thinking that they might actually be easier to deal with. Because they're slow. They feel like they move a lot slower and a lot less dangerously. I mean, maybe they do have a speed up mechanic that they get faster or something. I don't know. I've not really noticed it from them. And I wonder if that's maybe my complacency on that one. But I don't think that they're more frustrating to deal with. Which is definitely something I'm pleased to have as a general encounter and don't have to worry about them so much. Okay, so I'm going to try and sift through some of the stuff that I don't need. Like, I don't really need the algae and other stuff, because I'm sure I'm going to find more resources that I do want. And again, we're still going to get more stuff that we don't. Okay, so we've got, again, more stuff. We're going to blitz our way through them. Easy peasy, no worries. And, okay, we've got another large bomb to slap down and detonate. We've got, again, a bunch more of the Omnigeodes, which is, again, good. We've got lots of gold there, so I could make more bombs, theoretically, or they're unsure of some few other things that I actually need gold for to make. I mean, heck, there's got to be some more stuff that actually I need bombs for, but I'm not sure off the top of my head. I think that's a thing, though, isn't it? I've got lots of things that I do need, and will need lots of. But hey, that's just how this goes. So I've got lots of considerations to sort of make on that sort of front. And, of course, yeah, there's loads of ideas. So let's keep going. Again, some more ladders down. I don't really want ladders, I want holes. I mean, it's only just gone midday, so we've still got plenty of time. I don't really want to be rushing it. I'd like to actually be able to get back to the farm to have enough time to maybe sort out some of the crops a little bit, but I'm not expecting that to happen today. So, I mean, one can hope. But there was one thing that confused me this morning. I know I went back to the TV, and it was that there's an unusual report. Now, I've never seen that weather report before, so I'm genuinely curious what on earth is going to happen tomorrow. So Monday could be an interesting day, I think. What's going to happen? I don't know. And I'm very keen to find out. So, yeah. That's kind of my logic on that one. But I do wonder what it is. So, yeah, we'll have to try and see. Because it could be something really interesting, but it could also be something, another event, possibly. But it would look like a big green distortion. Very odd. No idea. But I'm sure we'll find out. Righty, and we've got a load more radioactive ore. I nearly called it iridium. That's not the iridium. The iridium is purple. But yeah, the large quantities of radioactive ore is kind of nice. I'll definitely say that much. Maybe not like the most useful, but it's nice. And again, lots more detonations of bombs to give me lots more stuff is always lovely. We can always get loads of that. Okay, do I really need the survival hamburger? I don't know. What do I not want? Yeah, there's... I'm going to have to be a bit more, maybe mercenary about... Am I really after things that are valuable, or am I after things that I just want? And I'm kind of worrying that it's based on the value again. And I know that's maybe not the best way of me looking at it, and... because I'm just looking at pure money, which again I don't need, and I need to be conscious of the fact that I have 10 million G. I don't really have to worry. Right now, at least. Which, you know, maybe I should try and set myself a challenge to, at some point, to see how quickly I can get to 1 million G only using, like, certain crops, like, parsnips. You know, something really dumb. As if I was starting out and just trying to get to 1 million G. That'd be kind of funny. I wonder how well I could try that. I mean, I'm sure if I download a couple of mods, I'm sure there's some, like, not code-breaking stuff, but stuff that might allow me to mess with, like, certain parameters, like maybe make an infinite spring, in theory, to just see how long it'll take me. But, I don't know. I don't know. That's, again, another silly idea that's sort of going through my head. I've got loads of daft ideas, but whether they're actually any good is a very different question. But I think that's just kind of a given, isn't it? No, I mean, we're currently on floor 53 at the moment here, so we're halfway, so that's good. It's just got to get further down. And hopefully we can get ourselves a much further distance down in this mess as we get more of the shafts to jump down, because that's kind of what I'm after really right now, is just more of them so I can leap down and find my way to something a bit more exciting. But again, here we go. We're once again here. We've got more enemies. Just so many of them. They're just not stopping, are they? It's just oodles and oodles and oodles of them. Not the end of the world. Just we've got loads of enemies to deal with, and yeah, they need to just stop and go away. Kind of a given there, though. Just with that many enemies. Not, again, as I said, super difficult to deal with, especially since a lot of the enemies can't hurt me with all the slimes. And, of course, when I kill them, there's the chance of the heal, and, well, 2 chances of healing based off of the ring and the hammer. And, of course, we've got the heal opportunity based off of the fairy. So, again, we're not really struggling, per se. Just... how else am I going to figure this one out? I mean, there's got to be lots of, like, vaguely clever things that I can kind of do. Okay, so that's another detonation. Look at that. That's a load of lovely resources. Let's go. Now, I'm trying to be a bit more mercenary about just lay bombs, get out, go. Okay, so there's 2 holes which we can leap down. I should ignore the mummies and just go. Because, come on, Walrus, be sensible. You said you're going to try and be clever. I mean... vaguely pretending. I'm managing just about-ish. And, I mean, we're on 520 and we've slowed down. Because I think that's what's kind of concerning me, is that we've slowed down a fair bit. We're still, like, working our way down on a vague track. But it does feel like I'm... maybe being a little bit too slow. We'll see, though. Look at all those slimes. Go away. Just die. Okay, we've got some more gems. I mean, key gems is nice and all. I mean, again, not the end of the world, but it's nice. We might get something good. Who knows? Okay, so we've got lots more enemies that need to go away and just die. I mean, we're going to get loads of enemies that just need to go away and just die. It's kind of a given at this point. Especially when they're coming down here. Okay, well, let's slap another bomb down. We might get something actually pretty good here. Okay, so no, we haven't got ourselves another hole down, which is a shame, because we want more of these holes to allow us to leap down and get further down in these damn mines. And the thing is, my lucky... not my lucky lunch, because if I'd been sensible, I would have made a lucky lunch, but no, I only have the spicy eel. That's what I need, isn't it? I need to get more spicy eel in me. And because my ginger beer is doing me good, because again, the luck boosts from all of my food items is really where I'm looking for at the moment. Okay, for floor 76, we've got ourselves a crystallarium. Okay, that's cool. That can just get added to the stack of crystallariums we've got. I mean, it's not a bad thing to have more of them. I mean, they're pretty damn useful. And at no point am I going to be upset about having more of them. I mean, yes, I might not use them right off the bat, but hey, I've got a lot of them in my shed. Oh, okay, we've got another chest floor. That's, okay, so we've got a dark cowboy hat. I can't remember if that's one that I've already got, so I am going to clear out some space to make sure I can have it. Because, yeah, I don't want to not have... clothing items if I've got the opportunity, and that's something I really do need to start looking at a little bit more closely, is the clothing items, because there are all the different clothing items that one can make and lots of different ways of doing it, because of course by using different food items, color combinations and cloth, you can make loads of fabric and clothing, and I think I should probably try dabbling with that at some point. That wouldn't hurt. Loads of opportunity. Not sure. Okay, so let's keep going. Well, that's more enemies. That's fine. They need to die. They need to die. They need to die. I mean, again, look how much... I think these bigger ones are easier to deal with. Because they are slower and it's easier to hit them. I wonder, I would wager they probably hit a hell of a lot harder and are more dangerous for that regard. But they are more easy to deal with at this venture stage of the game. I don't think they're too much of a concern, but that may be my hubris about to come around and bite me in the posterior. That wouldn't surprise me, because my hubris has led to my downfall a few times previously, and I'm never going to deny the fact that I do a lot of incredibly dense stuff and allow myself and my hubris to cause that issue. Okay, let's see what we can get there. So we've got more enemies that need to die. That's fine and all. Okay, so what's in this chest? Cinder shards. Now, I do want some more cinder shards, because I didn't even know you could get them in here, but I guess you can get all sorts of weird stuff. I mean, heck, you get the auto petters and the skull caves. So I do wonder whether it's Mr. Key saturating some chests with weird and wonderful when you're down here. Who knows? Good old Mr. Key being odd. And Mr. Key, ooh, here we go. A white turban. So I know I copped out a little bit by using a few staircases, but hey, I got down and that's what we were after. So that's kind of cool. We got ourselves another turban, and again we got an some energy tonic. I'm just gonna get rid of those because I don't need them. And yeah, because that's the thing, is energy tonic is good and all, but I don't need the energy right now. It's not my major concern, I think, is the best way of describing it. Okay, well, that's easy enough, isn't it? We've got everything we kind of need. Well, we've still got some time now, because it's only 9:20. We've actually got an opportunity to kind of, not resaturate per se, but actually put things into the farm more effectively, I guess. It's probably a way of describing it. I mean, that sounds like a bit of an odd description, doesn't it? Just to reorganise all the gubbins that I've got here, because there's loads of just nonsense guff that I've got lying around that I don't really need to worry about right now. Which is good and all, I guess. I mean, look at all the trinkets. When am I going to need all of those? I might need to do a bit of pruning of trinkets, I think, is maybe one way of describing it. Because I do have a lot of them, and I don't need all of them. I mean, what do you guys think I should do with them all? Should I get rid of them, and other than like have one of each, and then leave that? Or do I want to be a bit more klepto with them? Do I want all of them? I don't think I do. I can't really see much of a reason to do so, but who knows. So we've got loads more stuff lying around. As you can see, we've still got all of this to grab. We've got all of the extra veg to grab. I mean, we've got all the corn. I guess that's one other good one as well. Is that corn is a constant, easy producer. It's nice and easy for general space and such. Because it just keeps producing corn, and it can be turned into oil. Like I could do the same with, I have been with a sunflower. I guess maybe that's something I should also do as well. Any like low tier corn, I should just slap straight in and kind of hope for the best with that. Because yeah, I don't need all that corn. So I mean, more oil probably wouldn't hurt and save me having to buy it. Because again, that's less money going to Pierre. And I know that sounds oh so very awful, but that is just because Pierre smells. And I do dislike him. But then again, I think that's the odd thing, is a lot of the villagers I just don't like. For like a lot of their behaviour or their foibles. Now, this might sound like a bit of a potentially very odd seek here. In the UK, we have a radio show on... yeah, we do have the radio. Did you not know? But we have a radio show here on Radio 4. Now, Radio 4 is very much of a older person's radio station, you might describe it as. It's it's a good one to listen to. You don't listen to it for music, shall we say. It's got radio documentaries, radio plays, and that sort of stuff. Now, Radio 4 has a radio drama that has been running for many, many years called The Archers. And it's essentially a farming village in the UK. And I listened to it growing up because my parents listened to Radio 4. And let's just say that there are some of the characters here in Stardew Valley that remind me of some of the characters in The Archers in potentially negative ways. But because it's a radio soap opera, yes, a lot of them are overblown and very ridiculous. So if you've had the displeasure of listening to The Archers, or you know of what it is, you'll understand why I sort of deride it so. It's not my cup of tea. I think it's probably the nicest way of describing it. So yeah. Now I'm going to grab all of these preserves and get them ready. Oh my goodness, I didn't realise what the time was. It's almost, my goodness, it's almost 1 AM. So, because of that, I'm going to start off with my close down. So thank you very much for tuning in. If you have enjoyed, please do like, share and subscribe. Please do comment, because I always do try to engage with every comment that is posted on the videos, because I'm always keen to see what you guys have as any of your input, because it's always interesting to see what you'd like to see. A big shout out thank you goes to my patron supporters on Patreon, and of course everyone who's liked and enjoyed it. So hopefully I'll catch you all again the next time the Walrus plays Stardew Valley.